you've achieved success. You got the job, the degree, or the promotion. Yet, deep down, you're convinced you're a fraud, waiting for the inevitable moment when everyone realizes you don't deserve it. This isn't just insecurity. This is the imposter syndrome, and it's a crippling neurological loop that targets the most competent people. It's not a character flaw. It's a design flaw in how your brain processes success. We are diving into the deep science of why competent people feel like frauds. This isn't about affirmations. It's about re-engineering your neurobiology of self-worth. We will break down the comparison loop and give you the 3 core psychological shifts to finally own your success and silence that internal voice of doubt. Miss this, and you will continue to self-sabotage your biggest wins. Master this, and you reclaim your mental peace starting now. 1. The neurobiology of the fraud. The first step is realizing that the imposter syndrome is a neurobiological trap rooted in your brain's love for certainty. When you were learning a new skill, your brain had certainty. I am a beginner, but when you achieve success, the goalposts move. Suddenly, the label is I am an expert, which is a terrifyingly uncertain identity. Your brain prefers the certainty of being a beginner to the uncertainty of being an expert. This creates massive cognitive dissonance. To solve this dissonance, your brain generates 2 defense mechanisms: perfectionism and comparison. Perfectionism allows you to postpone the judgment of expert by saying, I'm not done yet. Comparison allows you to offload the responsibility by saying, they are better than me, so my success must be luck. Both mechanisms serve to push the burden of self-acceptance away. You are not fighting inadequacy. You are fighting your brain's inherent discomfort with the ambiguity of success. We must change the way your brain processes accomplishment. The more you achieve, the wider the gap between your external success and your internal self-perception grows. This is why high achievers feel the imposter syndrome the strongest. You interpret every mistake not as a normal human error, but as proof that your internal fraud narrative is correct. The neurotransmitters of anxiety spike every time you receive praise, because praise increases the risk of being exposed. This constant internal battle is exhausting, and it's why so many people subtly self-sabotage their own careers. They avoid taking the big promotion or launching the next project simply because they fear the certainty of high-stakes scrutiny. This is the truth of the trap. The imposter syndrome is a defense mechanism against vulnerability, not a genuine lack of competence. 2. Shift 1. The externalization hack. The first powerful shift is based on Stoic and Buddhist principles. Externalization: you must ruthlessly separate who you are from what you produce. The fraud feeling only exists when you tie your identity, your core worth, to the outcome of your work or the opinions of others. When a piece of work fails or a critic attacks, your brain interprets it as a failure of identity. I am a failure, not a failure of execution. This project failed. Practice use the third person. When assessing a project, practice saying the quality of the work was X instead of I am X. This creates the necessary cognitive distance. Practice. Acknowledge the process, not the outcome. When praised, stop saying I was lucky. Instead, internally acknowledge the process and effort you put in. I dedicated 60 hours of focused time to this. The process is something you control and own. Luck is external. This neurobiological move disarms the anxiety by externalizing the outcome. You preserve the core certainty of your identity. I am a capable person who executed a difficult process even if the result is imperfect. You are retraining your brain to handle constructive criticism without triggering the full-scale panic response associated with exposure. You begin to see your work as something you do, not as something you are. This is crucial for building genuine, sustainable self-worth. 3. Shift 2. The proof of the process. The second shift requires replacing the vague, subjective feeling of being good enough with irrefutable evidence of competence. The imposter syndrome thrives on subjective self-assessment, which is always biased. We must build a ritual around objective reality. Practice the victory log. Dedicate 60 seconds every evening to record 3 things you accomplished that day. This cannot be a generic to-do list checkoff. It must be a record of competent execution. For example, I successfully navigated a tough negotiation. I dedicated 2 hours to deep, focused code writing. Practice. Embrace the 50% rule. The need for perfection, the I must be 100% ready to launch thought is the imposter syndrome talking. Accept that your high-quality work is likely already at 80% and launch at 90%. This forces your brain to tolerate imperfection, which is a necessary ingredient for consistent forward movement and learning. This competence ritual provides your brain with a continuous stream of objective data that directly contradicts the imposter syndrome's narrative. Every entry in your victory log is chemical evidence that you are not a fraud. You are replacing subjective doubt with objective accomplishment. This repetitive process helps to rewire the fear pathways in the amygdala, replacing them with neural pathways that register achievement as truth. 4. Integration and final lesson. The final lesson is about building a comparison barrier. Comparison is the death of joy and the fuel of the imposter syndrome. Your brain is hardwired to compare resources for survival, but in the modern context. This translates to constantly checking LinkedIn or social media, which destroys your sense of self-worth. Integrate the process. You must use the externalization hack to separate their success from your process. You are measuring yourself against your past self, not their present self. Final move. The thank you habit. When someone praises you, stop minimizing their compliment. Practice accepting the praise and simply saying, thank you. I worked really hard on that. This small move forces your brain to register the external validation as legitimate data, strengthening the competence pathways. The reason competent people feel like frauds is that they haven't built the psychological walls to protect their inner identity from external judgment and comparison. The cure is not to feel more confident, but to build a scientific system around acknowledging the facts of your own execution. What is the biggest achievement you refuse to acknowledge? Let me know in the comments below. If you want more proven scientific systems for mind mastery and self-acceptance, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. I'll see you soon.